Okay, so today we are going to be talking about some assumptions that maybe some of my subscribers have about me. This is actually something that was pretty popular like a year ago, and nobody's doing it anymore, which means that it's time for me to do it. So I asked on Instagram for some assumptions about me, and I haven't looked at them yet, but now I will. I hope you guys were nice. Of course, the first assumption that comes through is from my husband, and it's wondering if I'm the girl from Mean Girls. So apparently I have a pretty common face because, oh my goodness, I can't post a video without somebody saying that I look like somebody else. There are a few that are pretty common, but 100% the most common one is Gretchen from Mean Girls. But there you go. Yes, I'm her. That you don't know every line of The Emperor's New Groove? This is from my friend, Call Me After Coffee. She has a YouTube channel. You should definitely check her out. She'll be linked in the description. Oh my goodness. I don't know every line, excuse me, but I know a lot of them and I quote them often. So that's gotta count for something. I assume you are surprisingly confident. I guess it depends on your definition of surprise. I guess it depends on how confident you think I am and if you would be surprised. I am a very confident person. I don't know if that's surprising or not. I grew up really insecure. I was a very insecure person in middle school and high school, and I hated that about myself. And so I basically implemented the fake it till you make it, and I decided that I was really insecure and I was pretty awkward. And I didn't like that about myself, and so I decided that probably a lot of it was in my head. Well, not being confident was definitely in my head. And being awkward I figured that was probably in my head too. I was probably just getting too much in my head and that was making me awkward. So I decided to just fake confidence, pretend like I feel good about myself, pretend like I like myself. And so I just started presenting myself differently and not like shrinking into myself when people would talk to me. And I just kind of eventually followed through with that. I eventually did gain confidence. Some of that was a lot of internal work, a lot of the insecurities I had when I would start thinking it, I would stop myself from thinking it and change my mind and choose to believe better things about myself. So a lot of it was internal work. It was me growing. I have this amazing friend, and we were both dealing with some pretty bad depression at the same time, and we were each other's rocks. We would text each other every day and talk each other through what we were thinking and build each other up and convince ourselves together to have a better day than we felt like it was going to go. So it was through a lot of internal work and internal choices of not giving in to the thoughts I was having. It was through having an incredible friend, an incredible husband, really amazing parents that all supported me and helped me get my head back on track. And then it was also through just choosing to present myself as who I wanted to be instead of who I felt like. And all of those things combined, I guess, helped me gain confidence. And so I am a really confident person now. I feel really good about I like who I am. And I definitely still deal with some insecurities, and there is still like a lot that I need to work on. But I don't know if it's surprising that I'm confident, but I am. I don't know. I assume that you love your family. Yes. I love my family. My family's the best in the world. I am really blessed that I was raised by two phenomenal people. I love my husband. I love my kid. I love my in-laws. I have a great life. You have a stable and happy family life. 100%. Your home/days feel peaceful and organized. Yeah, I think that's true. Definitely organized. I do like to plan out my days. And I think they feel pretty peaceful. Corey and I are both really chill people. So there's not a lot of stress in our life, I don't think. You are a Christian. Why else would you have read Ted Dekker? I am a Christian. You get up early and never waste time. I do get up early, and never waste time. You're right. And I wish I was a little bit better about this. I love being a really productive person, but I am the type of person that if I do something not productive, I have to convince myself, I have to physically tell myself, you're allowed to relax sometimes. Because I feel like if I sit down and watch a show or play a video game or do something that's not considered productive, I feel guilty about it because there's work to be done. And I don't like that about myself. I like that I'm very productive, but it is to an extreme, and I'm trying to balance myself better. You have a split personality when you wear glasses and when you don't. I don't think so. I don't wear contacts, so I actually wear glasses all the time, except when I'm filming. I'll wear glasses when I'm filming if I need to, like if I'm having to use my eyes a lot. I should probably be wearing glasses right now, but these are really big questions the way it's formatted so I can read it. But I feel like the glasses, even though I have anti-glare lenses, I still feel like they can be distracting, and so I usually take them off to film, but every other moment of the day I'm wearing glasses, so I don't think so. You give to nearly every charity you see on social media. Wow, that would be amazing. I would love that. I don't. I think I would have no money if I did, and I do need to buy groceries, but Corey and I do give. I mean, there are charities that we feel very passionately about that we do give to regularly, and we would love to be able to give more. Part of why we work hard is to be able to be very generous, but every charity, we're not there yet. You always choose the water-type Pokemon starter. No, sir. Actually, I didn't see who wrote this. Tyler. No, sir. No, I always choose. Okay, so I want to be clear. I play primarily Pokemon Red, or I guess I'll play Leaf Green sometimes too, but like Gold, Silver, Black, any that whole generation on forward, I don't play those because I didn't like the new Pokemon that were introduced into Gold and Silver, and so I've never kept up with any of the other Pokemon that have come out. So I'm an old school Pokemon player. So every bit of Pokemon knowledge I have is wrapped around that. That said, I always start with Charmander. Charizard is simply the best of those three. It's not even an argument. Not only that, but if you start with Charmander, starting out with fire makes it so much easier to get through the first several towns that you get through. When you go through Veridan Forest and stuff like that, if you can just train really hard in the grassy areas and make sure that Charmander learns Ember, you're gonna fly through stuff. You're gonna beat every trainer you come in contact with, and then you just need to get one bug Pokemon to balance out for when you come across rock Pokemon. I don't know why anybody chooses anybody else. You were a Hermione while in school. I don't know what you mean by that. I wouldn't say so. I got pretty good grades, but I wasn't obsessed with getting the best grades. I did read a lot, but I wasn't nearly as smart as Hermione. Hermione is brilliant. She always is able to sort through the answer. She's very logical. I think I'm smart too, but I'm not. I don't think I'm like Hermione. You are loads of fun at parties. I really don't know. Maybe. I guess it depends on the kind of party. My friends have like board game parties, and I am a lot of fun in those. I guess it depends on what kind of parties you're talking about, because I'd probably be pretty boring at a proper party. You wore a lot of black as a teenager. I guess I did. I've always been pretty into earth tones. So, yeah. You are in your early 20s in college. I am 27 and I'm not in college. You find romance boring and cliche. I would say no, because there are some romance books that I've really, really enjoyed. And I don't hate the genre by any means. It's just not the one that I find the most favorites of. I feel like I don't love romance more than I love romance, and I think it's just because it's just not my taste. But I really don't have any issue with the genre. I assume that you're an animal lover and very fun person to be around. I do love animals. And very fun person? Maybe. You were a really good kid. The answer is yes. I actually just had this conversation with my sister-in-law recently because she asked if I ever had like a wild phase. And the answer is no. And I think it's because, I've talked about this a little bit on my channel. I never go into detail because I'm really just not comfortable doing it. But I was born with a really rare disease. And I grew up very, very, very sick. I went to a lot of different specialists. I was on a lot of medication, and I had to be monitored pretty closely because it was a dangerous disease. That's the wrong word. It doesn't matter. I don't need to go into detail. The point is, I had to live under a lot of rules. This is gonna sound dramatic, but I had to live under a lot of rules in order to survive. That sounds so stupid. When I was diagnosed with my disease, the doctors essentially told my parents, she's probably not gonna make it past puberty. So the disease that I had was one that I had to be really cautious, not to do certain things and not to overextend myself and to always take my medicine on time. And I think that's why I was such a good kid, because I had to listen to the doctors. And so I think I just, in my mind, that just translated to all forms of authority, where I was just really good to follow rules. If I was given boundaries, it was like in my mind, I thought, I have to do this. I don't have a choice. I must obey. And it's not because my parents were extremely strict. My parents were actually, my parents were amazing, but they were relatively chill. I was a responsible kid, so they treated me like a responsible kid. They weren't suffocating parents at all. And yet I felt like I had to always follow the rules. And I think it's because I was so sick that I had to always follow the rules. And that just kind of bled into the rest of my life. I'm doing really well now medically. I still have to be cautious. There are still things that I have to be aware of, but it's nothing like it used to be. I don't think every day about my medical life, so that's a pretty big win. Anyway, that went deeper than it maybe needed to. Yes, I was a good kid. I assume that you and Corey are very frugal with your money. Yeah, we definitely are. Corey and I both were raised by really frugal people. Corey's parents didn't have much when he was growing up, and so they were just really responsible with their money. My parents were always on a pretty strict budget, and my dad's always had a good job, but my medical issues were very costly, and that's where the money went. So we always had enough, but we were always conscious of what things cost, because medical bills are expensive. And so Corey and I were both raised to be very conscious of money. Our parents talked to us about money from a very young age and taught us how to save and how to invest and how to be responsible. And so Corey and I, when we got married, it was just natural for us to not really be big spenders. We work hard and we spend little. We, for the first 4-5 years of our marriage, we didn't really make very much. We both had very low paying jobs, and we both paid, we share a bank account, but we paid our bills, we bought groceries, and we saved, because that was really all we had room to do. We're in a position now where we do have more room than that. For us, I think the most important thing is to continue to be frugal so that we can feel secure in our savings, and so that we can be generous when people need more than we do. And I think that's the most satisfying thing for us right now. So the answer is yes, we're frugal. You're either able to block out noise really well or really easily distracted. I'd say I'm pretty easily distracted. I usually will turn on like an ASMR fireplace or rain falling or something like that while I'm reading, because if there's any noise happening, then I can't focus on a book. I just realized that I am out of time to film, so I'm gonna wrap this up with like 1 or 2 more. Your assumption is that I'm really good at obscure sports like cup stacking or toe wrestling. No? I used to rock climb. That's not so obscure. Wow. Okay, I'm just scrolling through to see what some of these others are, and I have a lot of questions. A lot of people assuming I'm Canadian. I'm not. I'm from Illinois, and I currently live in Kentucky. But some of my best friends are Canadian, and I used to go visit in Canada every year and stay with them. So, I do love Canada. Wow, there are so many of these assumptions, and I just don't have time to film anymore. But I hope you enjoyed the ones that I did answer. I'm sorry for all of them that I couldn't get to. But thank you for everybody that participated, and I'd love to continue chatting with you guys if you want to chat any more about some of the questions that came up in this. I post videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'll see you guys again soon.